Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Create Astral Modpack. In the previous episode, we did some exploration and got ourselves some new tools. We also got Fortune on our pickaxe, and I'm actually going to go ahead and get Fortune 2. Now if I hit Control and O, that should actually show us the menu over here, so now we should have Luckier, and what we need to do is spread those out just like that. And now we have Luckiest. Now in theory, that should be equivalent to Fortune 3, which should definitely help us out in gathering resources in the future. Now what I want to do today is actually get started on a tree farm. And I might actually move bases today as well, although I might do that in between episodes. Kind of depends on how long it takes to actually make this tree farm. It really shouldn't take too long. One of the components that we're going to need for this is the mechanical bearing, and it's a pretty simple recipe. We just need a slab, an andesite casing, and a shaft. And we're also going to need slime for this project. So the way that we can actually craft slime in this mod pack, and with Create in general, is to actually mix dough with lime dye. And you can actually make lime dye pretty easily with green dye and white dye. And there are a few other methods how you can actually obtain it. We could farm sea pickles. We could cut a wild onion in a cutting board with a 10% chance for that though. But what I want to actually do is go and find some cactus. Now in our explorations yesterday, we didn't actually get any cactus, but I do see a desert down here. And I see little green dots on it, so I'm assuming that's cactus. So I think I'm going to go ahead and quickly hop through the jungle and go to the desert. Oh, hey, there's some dogs here. I wonder if I can tame one. Hello, friend. I like your goggles. He's just jamming out there. For some reason, he won't stand up, which is a little weird. And maybe I can get one more. Yeah, there we go. Cool. And here we are in the desert, and it looks like there's actually a desert village over there. Might go and check that out as well. I don't want to get too distracted today though, because I do want to make some more progress. But visiting one village won't hurt. Yeah, there really wasn't anything here. So I'm going to go ahead and plant one cactus and use the other for dye. And I'll go ahead and get that smelting up. Now I can combine that with a white dye and get some lime dye. Next, we're going to need to be able to grind up some wheat. And there's only really one way to do that, at least for now. If we go back to chapter 1 in our book here, off of the andesite age advancement, we actually have the millstone. So what we can do with the millstone is actually get quartz from diorite. Now that's definitely going to be useful later, and I haven't really talked about this yet, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. What we want to use the millstone for today is to actually get some dough. And by dough, I mean the bread kind, not the money kind. And the millstone recipe is pretty simple. It's just a cogwheel, andesite casing, and any kind of smelted stone. And by the way, one of you guys let me know that if you press the G key, if you have a toolbox, you can actually select items out of it, which is really handy. And by the way, thank you for leaving comments on the videos. I do read through all of them, and yeah, anytime you guys give me feedback, it helps this series to advance further, because I don't really know a whole lot about this mod. So any sort of feedback can actually be really helpful to me, as long as it's constructive and not hateful. So now we can go ahead and craft up the millstone, and we'll actually try to find a place for it. I might just put it here temporarily. Will that actually... that'll actually overstress that. No worries though, because we can actually go ahead and add a new setup here. Just remember though, all of this area right now is temporary. So what we can go ahead and do is throw in some wheat in the top, and I will have to right click it unless I grab a hopper really quick. So I'm just going to go ahead and right click it, and that gives us wheat flour. Now what we can do with the wheat flour is if we grab a bucket of water, we can actually go ahead and put the bucket of water in a mixer and throw in a piece of wheat. It is 1-to-1, so you will need 1 bucket for every piece of wheat, every piece of wheat flour. So it might be a good idea to have a pump set up with this, but yeah, for now, we'll just do it like this. And this is actually a pretty good way of getting bread if you're able to automate it. Because it's only 1 piece of wheat for every piece of bread, it definitely saves you 2 pieces of wheat every time. But for what we're using this for, we're going to need all of the dough and combine that with some lime dye, and we get slime. Easy as that. And what we're going to do with the slime is actually turn that into super glue. And we can do that really easily by just combining it with an iron sheet and an iron nugget. So here we go, and there's our super glue. So that is the second component that we're going to need for the tree farm. And there's the mechanical bearing, by the way. I thought I crafted that already, but I must have forgot. And we can go ahead and claim our rewards for making a millstone. And the next component that we're actually going to need is a mechanical saw. And in order to make that, it's pretty simple. It's just 3 iron sheets, an iron nugget, and an andesite casing. I'm going to make probably about 4 of these. Yeah, I think 4 will do for the size of the farm I want to make. And I'm going to go ahead and get some iron on the mechanical press. And while I'm waiting for that to press, and one more thing that we're going to need is a deployer. And deployers are also pretty easy, but we are going to need a lot more rubber and an andesite alloy for each of these rubber hands. Now, currently I only have 4 rubber, and that should be able to make 1 hand, I believe. But we're going to need so much more than that, so I'm going to plant some trees, some rubber saplings here, somewhere in this forest. Alright, and here is all of our rubber now. And I'm going to go ahead and combine all of those with a piece of andesite alloy to get all of our rubber hands. Now, in order to make a deployer, we're actually going to need another thing for this. And we're going to need polished rose quartz, which is basically just a combination of redstone dust and nether quartz. And it's a pretty good thing that we set up the millstone earlier. Because now I can just go ahead and throw a stack of diorite into it, and that should make us a few bits of quartz. And while that's cooking up, we're also going to need some sandpaper in order to actually grind the rose quartz down. So all we need to do is combine sand and paper, and we get sandpaper. Who would have thought? So here is our first piece of rose quartz. And what you want to do is, I believe you just hold it might be the sandpaper in the offhand, and a rose quartz in the other, and you just hold right click. Just like that. We're going to need about 3 more of those, so hopefully we get a few more bits from the millstone. And I believe the last component we're going to need for the tree farm here is going to be the portable interface. Now this is a pretty easy recipe. It's just a chute and an andesite casing. And we haven't actually made chutes yet. It's basically just 2 iron sheets and an iron ingot, and that actually makes 4, so not a bad recipe. And we can make a chute just like that. And here is our portable storage interfaces. So I'm currently just waiting for some more quartz, so I'm going to go ahead and craft the mechanical saws, which really shouldn't be too bad. It looks like I'm short on iron ingots. And there's everything we need for all of our mechanical saws. And here we go. Here is our 4 deployers. Now that should be everything that we're going to need for the tree farm. Just double checking. I think it is. And we can always come back if we forgot something. All right, so I think I'm gonna head maybe in this direction. This area over here could be pretty good too. I don't want to be too close to the village, but it would be nice to be close to it so that we can actually do villagers later on. All right, I think I like this area for our base in the future here. We do have a building there already, but what we could do is either take it over or tear it down. I'm thinking probably tear it down, but we can just use it as a house for now. And I think I want to put the tree farm up here. There is a little bit of a ravine here. I think we can work around it though. I was going to cover it up, but because it's connected to the water over there, I kind of like how it looks. So yeah, I think I'm just going to place it up here. And I'm just going to flatten out the area. And of course, the one thing that I forgot is to actually bring some power with me. So I'm probably going to have to run back, but that's alright. We can actually do the power last. So what I want to do is actually get this set up. And I'm thinking I want the center to be here. I might have to clear a little bit more over there though. And I'm actually going to use these diorite pillars just to make it seem a little bit decorated. And I'm going to go ahead and put the mechanical saws here, just like that. And I'm debating doing this 2 high. And maybe I need it 3 high actually. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, we can replace those with different ones next time. This is a little bit of a different design. Hopefully it makes it line up a little bit better. Usually I put them down here just like that, and it sort of puts the blocks down like that, and it makes them a little bit wide for the saws. So if we put them on top, it might actually make it a little bit easier to actually keep them cut down. So next, we're going to need to put a portable storage interface somewhere within the shape of this thing, and put another one over here. I can never remember if it's 2 or 1. I think about it. I think it's 2. I'm just going to put that right there. No, I'm pretty sure it's just 1. So yeah, that's pretty much as far as I can get before running back to the house. What I'm gonna need also is a chest for here. We're gonna use a chute to just pull these directly out of the storage interface and put them into a chest. That'll go right. And we can actually go ahead and glue this thing together. So I'm just gonna do the main body there like that. Then get all the mechanical saws, make sure that they're connected to the blocks as well. And finally the deployers, and I don't want any extra space there because that can actually carry tree blocks with us if we leave a space here. So yeah, it is mostly done now. I just need to run back home and grab a few things, and then we'll come right back. Alright, I am back with a few more parts here. And I'm actually going to tear out the diorite here first and just use something that's a little bit more decorated. Something like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and dig beneath this thing. And I think I want to go down one more. And this is where we'll put the water wheel. And I know I'm using a pickaxe to dig this out, but I don't want to accidentally dig too much out. And I did actually bring my toolbox with me. We can pull out a water wheel. We might need a shaft. And we'll go something like that. And I need some water. And we can do that, I think. Yeah, I think that's right. So what I want to do on top of that, and I think I'm going to actually use a shaft first here. Yeah, we'll use the shaft and then we'll put the mechanical bearing on top of that. And now we can place one more block right there. And that should lag a little bit. Okay, it's moving in the wrong direction. So let me just fix that really quick. Cool, so that is functioning now, and I'm just gonna stop it again right there. Because we're actually gonna need some saplings. Now, I don't actually have a whole lot of oak saplings. I did plant a few trees over here, but they haven't grown yet. So I think I'm just gonna go to this forest and chop down a few trees. 6 saplings should do for this. So what I'm gonna do is actually go ahead and right click each of the saplings into a filter, just like that. And something I did forget to do here is we're actually going to need a storage chest. I'm going to use a barrel just because they look a little bit nicer here. And just a little bit short. I'm going to use a barrel for this just because it looks a little bit nicer. And yeah, we'll do something like that. And now all we need to do is put our saplings inside. And I would also like to make a chest. 3, 4, something like that. We're going to do a double chest. And we'll put that right there. Now that should be everything for this. And yeah, it did go ahead and plant the saplings. Sorry about that, my dog was wanting attention. So, yeah, I think that's everything completed for this farm. Now, as it collects items, they'll go into here, hopefully. And yeah, all we need to do is wait for a tree to grow, which might take a while. I do have a couple of pieces of bone meal, so hopefully we can... Nope, never mind. So yeah, I'll just wait for that to grow, and then hopefully I can capture when it actually cuts it down. Alright, we have our first tree growing, and now the saws should be cutting it down. There we go. And it immediately planted the saplings there, and everything else goes inside there. Perfect. So now that we have the tree farm up and running, I think it's time to start moving bases. Alright, so I think probably the easiest way to move bases is to actually make a cart assembler. Then all we'll have to do is put all of our chests on a cart, which should make it easier to carry to the base. But one thing we're going to need before we can do that is a wrench. And this is something I probably should have crafted a while back. Oh, but we're actually going to need sheets for this. And here we go, we have our wrench. This will allow us to actually pick up and place the cart. So the way that we actually go ahead and put our chests on a cart is to actually use a cart assembler, which fortunately the recipe has not changed for. Basically it's just two logs, 2 andesite alloy, and a redstone dust. So here we go, there's our cart assembler. Alright, so I've grabbed everything that is worth grabbing. So all I want to do now is place down a rail here, and a cart assembler there, and put a minecart inside. And I'll actually just place a oak plank there, and get out the super glue, and glue all of our chests and stuff together. Now hopefully this will actually allow me to pick it up, and I did forget that I need a lever for this. So if we hit that, yeah, everything should be stuck together, and all we should have to do is wrench it. Nice. And by the way, I will come back for the andesite system later. It is a little bit complicated and a little bit full right now to actually move it. But I think I want to upgrade this in the next episode or so. But now it is time to say goodbye to the first base here. I really enjoyed my time here, and it definitely helped us to get our foot in the world. Is that the phrase? Get our foot in the world? It helped us to get started on the mod pack, and yeah, I'm definitely gonna miss the place, but I do think that the new base is gonna be much better than this. So here we are at the new base, and I am just going to use this this house for now, and I'm just gonna make a... Yeah, I think I'm gonna make a hole in the wall here. And ooh, that's directly into dirt. And this is probably where I'm gonna store all of my chests for now. Alright, I think that's gonna be enough room, so all we should have to do now is put a rail down, get the assembler out, and get our contraption in. Yep, and just like that, all of our stuff is here. And yeah. Yeah, I think that's all the time we're gonna have for today. I'm super excited to get started in the new base, and yeah, I want to see what lies in the future. So yeah, I think in the next episode, what I want to do is actually make some more progress in the book. And oh, looks like we have a reward to claim there. I think I want to start working my way towards this direction. So we really haven't talked about this yet, but the reason I haven't gone to the Nether yet is that in this pack, there is no Nether. So what we have instead is actually the moon. So what we're going to do is build a moon portal, and that'll actually bring us to the moon. Now there's quite a few steps before we're going to be able to do that, but I do think that we can get pretty close to that way if we start heading in this direction. And so yeah, I think the next step really is going to be, it looks like alloying. So yeah, we can make some alloys and stuff. We might also take a look at some of the contraptions and stuff down here. Now we've already done the card assembler, but we need to complete a few quests before we can do that. And I do think that we can do a little bit more automation things first. Getting belts is going to be pretty important. We're going to need to find kelp first though. And so yeah, we can take a look at the quests down this way. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace.